Here we are. This is the last tip in my series of top 10 tips to become an amazing guitarist. For this one, I'm going to need a drum roll. The number one tip is you must allow me to hypnotize you. No. The number one tip is, man, you gotta practice if you want to be good. This should come as no surprise. You're not going to be amazing without a lot of dedicated practice time. This topic, because it's so important, is going to have a whole subset of tips. Are you ready? Let's get started with tip number one. If you promised yourself last week that you were going to put in an hour each day for the next week, and then you fell short, it happens. There's nothing you can do about last week, but you can make some changes this week. Look back over the past week and decide what the distractions were and decide if there's anything that you could do about it. Maybe you have a neighbor that stops by to drink a couple of beers with you and watch the game. That's fun, understandable. This week, don't answer the door. For every problem, there is a solution. Tip number two, practice is easier when you're working on a goal as a group. As I explained last week, the great thing about playing with a band is you're held responsible for knowing your parts when you show up to rehearsal. If there's any way that you can involve others in your guitar practice, do it. Today, I'm working on the 25th lesson that I've created this year. There is no way that I could have stuck to this if I was working all by myself. Every session, I have a camera operator and video editor. Without help from Philip Thompson and Lindsay McCarthy, this project wouldn't have come off as quickly and it wouldn't be as great as it has turned out to be. Same thing holds true for your guitar playing. Share it with others. Begin building a team. Tip number three, spend as much practice time as possible having fun. If you like jamming to backing tracks, do it. If you like copying songs, that can be fun. If you like writing songs, that's even more fun. If you enjoy playing faster today than yesterday, knock yourself out. Try to find something to play that you get lost in. Minutes and even hours should pass without you even realizing it. That's when you're on track. Tip number four. If you're a person with great self-discipline, keep a journal of your practice sessions. Make a list of everything you need to work on and go through the list sequentially. That means from beginning to end. If you're not that kind of person, and most of us aren't, make a game out of practice. Keep a running list of everything that you need to practice in a Word document. Space each item about an inch apart, print the pages out, and cut the list into a series of small cards, each with a practice item. Get 2 jars. Put all of the items in one jar. During your practice session, pull a card out. Practice the item. When you're finished, put the card in the empty jar when it's completed. Keep doing this until jar number 1 is empty and jar number 2 is full. Rotate the jars and begin again. This will ensure that you go through everything over the next several practice sessions. Don't get stuck working on the same stuff over and over. That gets boring fast and it's unproductive. Tip 5, make practicing guitar habitual. Try to do it the same time every day. That's how you form a habit. It will also help others to form a habit of leaving you alone at that time every day. Random practice yields random results. Tip 6, create at least one short-term practice goal. For example, over the next 2 weeks, learn a complete song from beginning to end. Or if you're even more ambitious and want to have more fun, write your own song over the next 2 weeks. Maybe there's something that you've been trying to accomplish in a guitar lesson. If so, you could probably do it in the next 2 weeks. Tip number 7, if you've scheduled practice time for today and you just don't feel like doing it, set a timer for 15 minutes. Force yourself to practice for 15 minutes. If you don't feel like continuing, don't. Chances are you'll put in the full hour. Tip number 8. I've run out of tips. You tell me. I'm going to start a topic on the forum, guitarlessonforum.com. And you can go there, search the forum for guitar practice, and we'll continue the conversation there. I want to hear what you have to say about your tips for good practice sessions.